Hi there, single men. As a fellow single, I'm over 50 and can tell you what not to do. Though you may hate being single, know that hooking up with the wrong woman is worse. So, in light of this, being single is something to be thankful for. For those who seek a mate, avoid the following women, no exceptions. Now, it already takes lots of work to keep a marriage to a regular person healthy and happy. So, most men know that it would be insane to start a relationship with a woman with paranoid schizophrenia. Yet bipolar is just as bad. And don't be conned into the idea that bipolar 2 is a mild version. Bipolar 1 and 2 are equally bad. The condition is typified by a woman loving you one week, hating you the next, loving you the third week, and hating you on the fourth. See Love Roller Coaster, Dating with Bipolar Disorder by Justin Clark. He does say that successful relationships are those in which the relationship is not in competition with the bipolar condition. But when is it not in competition with the condition? That's the question. Per famous actor Michael Douglas's marriage to Catherine Zeta-Jones, who identifies as bipolar, they are very rich and can therefore afford treatment that others can't. Separate bathrooms, special handlers, and other luxuries that can make an otherwise intolerable situation doable. As for drug addicts, they combine the mental problems I just mentioned with extreme desperation to satisfy their habit no matter what, including robbery and murder. And all hard drug users are potential drug addicts, as such drugs eventually override the will of even the strongest personality. Actually, avoid all women who you know are involved in any illegal activity. Your relationship can be suddenly terminated by the police hauling her off to jail, and you can be implicated along with her. She may even be tempted to put all the blame on you. Then there are women who are 35 and older who are still virgins. Most such women hide behind religion and claim, with a superior attitude, self-righteousness, that they have maintained purity. Now, I agree that sex outside a marriage is a sin, but everyone sins, and people used to be married at 15. So such women are not special holy people. Instead, they have psychological problems which makes them averse to sex. Yet, sex industry workers, whether porn stars, prostitutes, strippers, escorts, erotic massagers, etc., are not the answer. That's because no woman is as sexually oriented as a young man. So the motivation for sex workers is always financial greed. And if they're willing to desecrate their bodies for money, they'd likely be willing to do anything for money, no matter how devious or criminal. And of course, their loyalty is non-existent. As for married women whose loyalty is also non-existent, if her husband ever finds out about you, he might shoot you dead. This has happened many times. Even in cases of separated or divorced women, the husband or ex-husband still had strong feelings, became enraged, and retaliated against the suitor. If you're on a dating site and any woman asks you to send her money through the internet, whom you never met, cut her off immediately. She's a crook. After meeting and while dating, it is appropriate for the man to foot the bills for various outings such as restaurants, but never let yourself be used to pay phone bills, car payments, rent, and such like before you have a committed relationship, preferably marriage. If she demands that you pay such bills before having a committed relationship, dump her and breathe a sigh of relief. And the only reason that any woman would refuse to sign a prenuptial agreement before marriage is so that she can divorce you when it becomes convenient for her and take you to the cleaners. So ask prospective mates beforehand how they feel about prenups. If they have a negative response or a refusal, drop them. Also, avoid any woman who expresses strong sexism against men, has specialized in women's studies, which is indoctrination into radical feminism, is a member of a feminist organization, or describes herself as a feminist. That's because feminism has already leached into every corner of society and is a given. Therefore, women would have no cause to discuss it unless they were clearly more immersed into this poisonous idea than the average woman. And on any dating or personal profile, avoid any woman who identifies as a queen, princess, diva, empress, or goddess, or asks to be treated as such, or asks to be spoiled. This shows that the woman will have extremely high or unreasonable demands and will be unwilling to do her part in the relationship due to a bloated sense of self-worth. Though most men have the common sense to avoid mean and nasty women, there are women who appear extra nice, but they are actually sociopaths, people who have no conscience whatsoever and can do anything at all without feeling guilty. This guarantees that you will eventually become their victim, unless you dump them. Since sociopaths are extremely hard to detect, you should see my video on sociopaths and perhaps do further research into this phenomenon. Then there are women who are members of cult-like religions like the Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Scientology, etc. Their number one objective would be converting you to their religion. And if you do convert but later leave the group, they'll want to leave you. Stay away from those in a Christian sect which believes that only they are saved, those in a group who has a charismatic leader who teaches strange things, and any member of a secret society. Better safe than sorry. Then there are transgender people. You often cannot tell who is transgender, and they often lie about it. So know the history of every prospective mate. For men who would be interested in a male to female transgender, know that most never get the bottom surgery and forever retain their penis and testicles. Others may say they'll get the surgery but lie and never do. And even with an artificial vagina, it will never self-lubricate and may only have a depth of 2 inches, while a natural woman's vagina is around 8 inches deep. And their womanly appearance is dependent on their constantly taking hormones that their body cannot naturally reproduce. So if they ever decide to stop taking their hormones or can no longer afford to take them, they're very expensive, they will become man-like in appearance. There are other categories of women that it might be wise to avoid. But if I listed all the categories, there might be nobody left. So I pray that the modernist scourge of feminism will be wiped away and that the traditional patriarchy would be restored. This would solve most of this problem. Take care.